Today I'm going to be sharing with you the recipe for making homemade spring roll wrappers. These thin paper-like skins are made from flour, water, cornstarch and a little bit of salt just for taste. They are soft, flexible and light textured, but they are strong enough to hold and wrap your fillings without breaking apart. So to get started with this recipe, I'm going to be adding 2 cups of flour to a bowl, followed by 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now mix this together and start adding the water a little bit at a time until a wet and viscous dough is formed. Now continue to work this dough by picking it up and slamming it on the bowl, just like this. And this process will help to develop the gluten. And with time, the dough is going to become very elastic. And when you begin to see it hold together in a rope, then you know you've done a good job. Now cover this up with a plastic wrap and leave it in the fridge overnight. The next day, the dough would have become harder and less sticky. Now work the dough again until it's smooth and elastic, and you can easily wind and gather it into the cup of your hand, just like this. Now it's time to make the wraps. Place a non-stick pan or griddle on a medium to low heat for about 2 to 4 minutes. Then smear the lump in a quick circular motion and quickly withdraw the dough. Now use your hand or a spatula to fix the hole and to spread the extra batter. When the edge begins to curl up just like this, you can now carefully remove the wrap. Then place it in a bowl and cover it up immediately with a damp towel to prevent it from drying. Now let's do this one more time. In the following clips, I'm going to be showing you some likely kitchen fails and some important points to note. The most important thing is getting the right temperature, and you can do this in 2 ways, either by using an infrared thermometer or by trial and error. And in the absence of a thermometer, this is what happens when the pan is too hot. The whole wrapper that has been formed will stay glued to the dough once you smear it on the pan. When the pan is a little hot but still not at the right temperature, the wrapper will be cooked but it will not curl up itself, so you may find it a little difficult to pull it off the pan. After some time, due to the constant contact of the dough with the surface of the hot pan, the dough will become very soft and hard to handle. At this point, just put the dough back in the fridge, and once it hardens up again, you can continue to make your wraps. After all said and done, my advice for you is to experiment with just a little bit of dough at a time until you get the right temperature. This will save you from wasting all your dough on trials and errors. This whole process looks a bit complex, but it's not as complex as it looks. Though it takes a little bit of practice, but once you get a hold of it, you'll be glad you did, because the result is really worth it.